All right, let's go. Let's go. How is everybody doing on this rainy, yucky, schmutzy Wednesday? You guys heard those storms we had creeping in yesterday, and they didn't go away. It's not thundering and lightning now, but it's just constant. It's been raining. I wanted to go fishing too. High tide is at like 2 o'clock. That's perfect for after the stream, but it won't stop raining, so we'll have to see. I do have a short members podcast coming up right after this show. All right, how's everybody doing, Colin? Yeah, man. How's it going? Summertime is a good time for Hall & Oates albums. I got to break my CDs out. I know some of you kids are like, "What's a CD?" I don't even think I have a CD player, so it wouldn't really do me any good to break the CDs out. Steven, how you doing, bud? No, we don't have to do anything right now, Steven, because Kachuk's going to be on LTIR to start the year, most likely. So right now, we don't have to do anything. We can kick that can down the road. JC, Damian, Cuban, good morning. Stefan says it has to be Vegas Panthers as favorites now. Yeah, Vegas, no joke about Vegas, right? No joke there. Thomas, how you doing, bud? Rasmus Anderson says he wants to be traded to the Vegas Golden Knights. Ain't that something? Yeah, Vegas is trying to do the thing. All right. And if they would like us to get our revenge, we'll be just fine to do that. Petrie wins and Norris. Real says, I love how whenever Zito does something, we don't freak out too much because we trust him. And when Greer does something, we assume it'll go to shit. I mean, I just can't even. Like, it's almost like the Dolphins are trying to be bad. Like, how is that your solution? Let's go get the tight end that retired because he was sick of playing football. How? Ryan Reed. Yeah, I think it was Ryan saying we lost 4. JC says 3. So Schmidt, Vanacek, God, my brain is drawing a blank. I know there was Sturm and isn't that it? Isn't that it? Vincent, yeah, all my vinyl is in the shed. It's probably melted at this point. Exactly, Lewis. After you canceled your NHL draft party, you had to cancel the free agents party, right? Short and sweet says, Oilers dropped from the oldest team to 10th oldest. Panthers moved up to the 5th oldest team. That's it. Well, I guess because you count with Marchand and Petrie, that does make a little bit of sense because that's all we added, right? Well, no, we added those couple. We added the goalie. He got us a little bit younger, but it's basically the same guys anyway. Mike, yeah, they fixed it yesterday. They fixed it yesterday. The Leafs are now the 3rd oldest team. Jeez. I wonder what the difference in ages are between like the oldest and the youngest. Like, I know they go by average age. And, you know, when you got to count, I mean, Kulikov is 34, Bob is 36, Petrie's 37, Marchand's 37. Nosek, I think, is 32 or 33. So I'm not sure how old Mikula is. Hey, Pente, how you doing? What was the problem with Knicks? Not sure which Knicks you're asking about. Yeah, Steven, this year the Panthers ruined free agency, man. So what's my thought on Petrie? I mean, okay. Apparently, people said he's like Schmidt. He can run. He can run the power play, and I mean, he's got a little bit more. You know, he's a little bit older than Schmidt, obviously, but totally trust Zito. Hopefully, him and Balinskis will flip flop. You don't need to wear Petrie out playing an entire year. Penta says Marchand was a little overpayment like Bennett too, but I can live with those deals. Ekblad deal was best considering what he could get. Yeah, Ekblad by far and away. And I talked about it on the members podcast today. When you look a few years ahead with the way the cap is going up, we're going to have money. We're going to be swimming in money. Chopper, I don't think Balinskis is going to be the guy replacing Schmidt. I thought they were going to give Mike Benning a shot, but apparently not. You know, he was solid. He was adequate. I don't think we go to the playoffs with him, though. I mean, I don't think we would head into the playoffs with him at 6D. It could happen. I mean, I guess we did it when Ekblad was out. Greg says a Vegas, Florida Cup will definitely squash the no state tax complaints. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Vanacek and Megna. Yeah, thank you, Ryan. You're right. That makes 4. Thank you. You're correct. In my opinion, which teams in the East have gotten better? Montreal. Montreal is soon to be a problem. It will soon be a problem. Kenneth says Schmidt only wanted money over cups. Well, I mean, that was a lot of money he got. He got 3 by 3.5. I mean, he literally got, he would have had to take minimum wage to stay for a guy that's made the money he has. I'm not sure, what everybody's got their different situations. I don't know. Maybe we didn't want him back. I don't know. It doesn't sound right, but 3.5, he got paid for sure. No, Anthony, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I forgot about Megna. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Montreal looks pretty improved. Well, he didn't touch the ice in the playoffs, but he did play a few games during the regular season towards the end there. He played a few games. Chopper, yeah, I mean, but that's what they said about OEL and Schmidt, too. That's the same thing people said about it, right? Yeah, at least he went to Utah, not Toronto. So Ryan says NHL wants Houston, Indianapolis, Atlanta, and New Orleans and Austin for expand. Wow. So that's Houston and Austin? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they would keep it at 2 and 2, I would assume. New Orleans, huh? The NHL fan base will love all those southern market teams being added in. Average for Florida is 29. Buffalo, Chicago, Sharks, 25. Thank you for that. Compared to the Panthers roster, I'm the oldest. Yes. I'm the oldest. I just need a shirt that says I'm the oldest. Donis, how you doing, bud? Case, yeah. It's July is the dog days. No doubt. No doubt. No lies detected. Especially, I mean, even in years past, I mean, we were active on day 2 last year. And it's just crazy how Like next year, unless we're getting rid of guys, it's going to be even worse. Because next year it's just Mikula and Bob if they haven't signed their extensions, and I guess maybe Sam Iskevich. And then the fourth line guys, whether or not they're staying or not. I mean, we're really going to have nothing to do next year. Lewis says, after seeing the contract of Dvorak and Bouchard, Benedict, Glenn, and Marchand are a rebate. Yeah. Yeah, they probably saw those contracts. I mean, if Bouchard gets 10.5, Ekblad might have taken 50% of what he could have gotten. Like if Ekblad would have gone out there and allowed a bidding war to happen. Sure, yeah, people are very pissed off at the Panthers. I know. They ruined it. Didn't ruin it for us. Hungry says, I saw someone refer to Petrie as our Make-A-Wish defenseman signing. Yeah. I mean, we just keep doing it over and over again, right? Why not? Martin would be taxed 38.5 for over salary in Florida. That's the lowest tax rate in the league-wide. He would be taxed 52.8 in Toronto, the high. But how much of that is federal, right? That's the federal rate. So, I mean, the 52.8, is that federal, or how does Canada work? Is it just the individual locales have the taxes, or do they have, like we have federal and state? So like my income, I pay about 20% in federal and another 5 or 6 in state. Cuban says we should have signed Brett Burns. Is he still out there? Yeah, exactly. The taxes don't work the same because they have to pay the taxes for cities they play in. It's a massive pain in the ass. The same thing happens because we sell on eBay, and the same thing happens. Some of the buyers have to pay exorbitant amounts in taxes because wherever we're selling the item to, it's all a rip. Like if somebody pays me $10 for something, I got to pay 6% to my state. If they buy it in California, they got to pay an extra 10% to their state. Then the government takes 20% from the United States government, takes 20% of what's left of mine. And it's just a scam. You just end up, everybody's just working for taxes. When you figure it out, then you take your tax money and you go to the grocery store to buy food, and they tax you on that shit. Panthers will lose 1 player per expansion team. Braves, yeah, we'll have to. You mean, are you talking about, what about Mackey? Yeah, 1 year. Yeah. Mackey right now gets the qualifying offer. It's a 1-year thing. He'll sign it. And then next year, he can get a decent contract, a decent bridge contract. Uzi said Megna played 1 game in Tampa and was -4. I thought he played more than that. I thought Megna played more than that. Now you're going to make me look it up just so I know if I remember. Let me see. Hold on a second. You're going to make me look this up because I remember it as something different. He played 8 games for us this year, and collectively he was a -2, which ain't so bad since he had no points. Megna played 8 games, playing 16 minutes. He was a -2, and that's not bad for no points. You know what I mean? Especially considering that was the time of the year that we were moving guys in and out of the lineup just to give guys some rest. Dennis says, "What date is Chucky bringing me the cup?" Yeah, I'd like to know. I'm getting the feeling, Kenneth. My psychic senses are telling me it might not happen. My predictive Jostradamus skills are telling me he might not bring me the cup. I can't tell you where I'm getting that information though from. I have to be quiet about it, but my inside sources saying he's not coming here with the cup. Vincent says, when is Kachukin's wedding? Assume that's the roadblock for the surgery. I hadn't thought about that, but you're probably right. Yeah. Somebody else is engaged too. It wasn't just Chucky. Was it Bennett? Is it Bennett or somebody else was doing an interview when they were talking about their fiance? JC says it's going to be Atlanta and Houston next. Stock guy. Yeah. If Tkachuk is healthy, but Tkachuk is almost guaranteed to start the season on LTIR. And then at that point, you keep Rodriguez. And then if when Tkachuk comes back, nobody else is on LTIR, then you would have to move Tkachuk and maybe Boquist to fit him in. But I got a feeling that right around the time Tkachuk is going to come back, that Ekblad's going to twist an ankle. And right about the time that he comes back, Marchand is going to strain an oblique or a rib or something. I don't know. The same voices that tell me Chucky's not bringing me the cup are telling me that. So 50-50. JC says Houston has the population for it and the stadium's already equipped for ice. Yeah. Bettman wants to have teams that don't have a sports city and the team in the city. That makes sense. Yeah, Mikko has one more year. Yeah. Like you saw some Leaf and Oilers fans saying the contracts will hurt the Panthers in the long run. I don't think any of us care. Like, if we win 4 cups, I don't think we're going to be crying in 2030 going, we're not good for a few years. Like, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Can you imagine how exhausted we're all going to be if we go on like 6-7 long runs in a row? We might be asking for a year off from the playoffs just so we could take a summer. Yeah. Case, yeah, exactly. The fishing gets worse offshore because the fish find cooler waters. Yeah, at this point, with them wanting to get to 40-plus teams, 100-plus regular games a year, all these international tournaments, they're going to have 2 rounds of playoffs a year. Eventually, they're going to have to do something. Like 32, you can make it work, but by the time they get to 36, they're going to have to add 2 teams. Right? In each. You'd have to end up going 10-10. What do I think is going to happen in the rest of the summer in the NHL? The biggest fish left to drop is honestly if McDavid's going to extend at some point or if he's going to start the season without, another contract. Yeah, otherwise dozens of teams will go a century without a cup. Exactly. Yeah, exactly, real. The only ones for next season are locking down Pasta, McDavid, and Bobrovsky. Yeah, exactly, Anthony. Kenneth says 52 is Fed plus Ontario combined. Okay. All right. God dang. Well, I guess if you're making that much money, damn, right? Half, man. God. Sage, yeah. The cap is going up next year. We've got more than enough money next year to just give. Even if we just give Bob $10 million for the next 2 years, even if we just say, you know what, you don't have to take a pay cut. We got plenty of money next year. Simon, I'm hoping to go fishing today if it stops raining. Vince, yeah, how many times can they tax the same dollar? Exactly. It's just absurd. It goes higher and higher. Okay, Kenneth. That's a good question, Anthony says. Why do I think Bettman doesn't want another team in Canada and he's focusing on the United States? Is it making American hockey bigger than hated? Honestly, it might just be where the money is. It's a good question, though. Like somebody in Canada that knows their economics would have to answer that question. Colin, no, we're not going to do a football stream today. I'm hoping to get fishing today. We're going to be coming back next week after the holiday and all of that. Next week, the classic football game streams are going to start on the football channel. JC says taxes and property taxes are scam plus home insurance that doesn't cover anything and 90% of the claims are denied. Yeah, I know. It's gotcha, short and sweet. The Hartford Whalers, right? Yeah, nobody wants to play in Canada too. So it's Bennett. Thank you, Alchemist. So can I calculate the surgery that Tkachuk would need? What I would say is what I said about Maurice. Maurice said that if Chucky hurt himself in games 4, 5, and 6, he could have the surgery and be back in January. So they may just, if he was, I don't know why he wouldn't just enjoy his summer a little bit, push the surgery back to make it so that he's out for the whole regular season. That solves all of our cap problems, and he can come back for the playoffs. I don't know why, other than the Olympics. Like, I don't know any other reason why he wouldn't just be like, you know what, I'll take a year off to heal and help the team. Icy, you're engaged? Congratulations. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom because I'm way, way behind. I see that. Give me a second. Michael says, might as well throw Canada a bone and relocate the Buffalo Sabres. It's not a long drive either, right? It's bus ride. just put them right over. All right, Niagara Falls Sabres. Well, no, that wouldn't. Well, I guess on the other side, right? Yeah, there you go, Kate. The Niagara Sabres on the Canadian side. Yeah, exactly. No, give Bettman props for wanting to grow the game in the South. Absolutely, no doubt. More is always better. JC says, at this point, I think the Amish nailed it. No taxes, no insurance. Just needed some good neighbors, plus awesome butter and jams. Only thing is, can't watch hockey. Are they allowed to have air conditioning, though, JC? Like, I'm not too fond of, I mean, I see them out. We have Amish, and, you know, they're outside. It's 100 degrees, and they're riding in their horse and buggies in the full. I'm like, do they got air conditioning? So they won 8 games now, real? Jacob says the NHL is probably looking at the NFL numbers and want a piece of the pie. There's definitely more money in the U.S., a lot of growth potential. Canadian markets are basically tapped out for years. Gotcha. Well, that's a good point, Tkachuk. And market analyst shows adding more teams in Canada will not grow the fan base, but it'll pull from existing ones. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. Simon, so I don't do fireworks. only because I'm not fond of the whole home firework thing. I know Donna's going to be here. She's off on Friday. I haven't actually talked to Kyle about it. I don't know if he wants to go watch some fireworks, but we may not want to leave Leia at home alone either. So I'll talk to both of them, and I haven't actually talked to them yet. Hey, battered Florida man. Exactly. We got them all back. Yep. Unbelievable. It's a shame we couldn't get Schmidt, but he would have had to take minimum wage, and it's okay. He got paid. Toronto and Buffalo, right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we all saw Utah. I think we kind of thought Houston would get that, right? Kenneth says plus Canadian dollars is tough when paid in all U.S. JC says no air conditioning. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to pass. That's rough. Jaws, I watched a guy who was an expert on the NHL salary cap. He was saying the one thing the NHL can possibly investigate 4-4 with these contracts is manipulation of the cap. Look, I can beat that argument right off the bat. There is no reason on this earth. Two things. There's no reason why Marchand can't play another 3 years on the third line and finish his contract as a fourth line guy getting 10 minutes a night. We literally just had Yager 10 years ago playing at an older age. So there's no precedent to saying there's no way Marchand is going to play that long. And with the cap going up and the salaries that the Panthers have, paying Marchand that money to be on the fourth line 4, 5, 6 years from now, it's nothing. I mean, remember, we were paying Hornquist a lot of money to be on the fourth line. We've already done it. So they can investigate that all they want, but there's precedent both ways for having old guys play that long, for having guys with heavy salaries on the fourth line. And we've done it before. Puck Monkey says, somebody wake up Mackey. Yeah, he'll sign. It's a good question, Jacob. That's a really good question. If Marchand wins 2 cups, retires as a Panther, would he be more remembered for his time in Florida or Boston? Excuse me. I mean, that's a tough. Probably Boston, right? I mean, nobody's going to forget that he was a Bruin, right? Unless we win like 3 more in a row with him. You know what I mean? Exactly, Krabs. Any pending UFAs next year interest you? Where? Like where? Like maybe we'll be in the market for a better defenseman for the bottom. But in terms of forwards, where? There's no room in the top 9. And that don't even include keeping Rodriguez. Like if we keep Rodriguez, like this just the only ask me again at the end of the year. If somebody's game starts to deteriorate or somebody gets a really bad injury, we might need to replace somebody. But for now, when we look at it next year, the top 4 in defense is set. We're going to have money that we can pay Bob $10 million and not even blink at it. We're going to have plenty of money to pay Mikkola, to pay for a legitimately good $3-4 million bottom pair guy to put with Kulikov. And then the following year, we're going to be swimming in money. And all we got to do is sign Luosterainen. We do have to pay Sam Iskevich in there. But if Bobrovsky doesn't even take the 10, like if Bobrovsky only takes 7 or 8, we're going to have more money. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get to the cap at some point because of the way the contracts are laid out. Yeah, thank you, Chris. Kachuk says the new LTIR rule doesn't actually eliminate the loophole entirely. It just caps the usable pool at the league average contract average of $4 million if you intend on reactivating the player in the playoffs. Oh. Okay. That's interesting. All right. All right. Thank you for explaining that, Kachukin. July 16th, the NHL schedules will be released. Okay. Boy, hockey in Cleveland would be a fun thing. Yeah, I'm happy Schmitty got paid too. You think Panarin would finally pick Florida? I just don't, I just don't know where anybody would fit. I'd rather upgrade the bottom. We will want to upgrade the bottom next year. Kulikov's not getting any younger, and Petrie's sure just a one-year guy. We'll have the money to go out and get somebody, at $3 or $4 million to put on that bottom pair, so that if any of the older top defensemen get hurt, you've got a younger guy that can step up and possibly start moving towards replacing one of them as they get older. Funniest part of the 30th was TSN YouTube channel putting up a video about how Toronto needed Marchand and taking it down 30 minutes later because he re-signed. Exactly, Krabs. We had 45-year-old Yager with Barkov and Huberdeau. They're going to tell us we can't have 43-year-old Marchand on the fourth line? Yeah, Corey Perry is still playing. Yeah, and the Kings fans are not. Yeah. Whoa, dog, no ice? Wait, they're not allowed to use ice? The Amish? Wait a minute. Yeah, somebody has to explain that one to me. Anthony, at some point, like maybe Horvolka would be a guy that we bring up to the bottom pair. There's not a lot there. Horvolka's like the biggest guy. Benning is probably a tradable asset. If somebody gets hurt, he might get a chance next year. I don't know, Hungry. That's a good question. Yeah, Lorenz signed in 3 years for Toronto. That was a good deal for them. Kenneth. Mackey not going anywhere. I refuse to let Mackey go anywhere. Yeah, it is pretty cool that terrace office from Bobby's hometown. Krabs says, my take, but we need to retire their jersey of an oldie like Van Beesbrook or Scott Mellenby. Would you count Luongo in that? I don't think they would do it for Beezer. I don't know. I think if they were gonna, they woulda. Kate, it's possible. We've got a lot of possible future guys for sure. Yeah, Bure is a good number there. Exactly, Michael. Let's see what they do with Tarasov, right? Remember, when Drieger came to us, the puck was bouncing off of him like a racquetball. And now look at him. You know what I mean? You wanted to go to the Nations Cup at $200, cheapest tickets. Yikes. Fly Guy says Brady will be a cap before too long. I can't disagree with that. Puck, who are we putting on? I'm sure it's going to be Ekblad. And then apparently Petrie can run a power play too. No, that's okay, Colin. No, there's no football stream today. Unless they do something. Unless they do something today. Trying to give my voice just a little bit of a break. It's really struggling here the last couple of days. Yeah, Kane to Vancouver, right? Canes 87. Do I think we'll go back to our logo on center ice? Or will they come up with another design like past season to celebrate the cup? I'd love to have them. Can they put 2 cups? Can they put 2 cups with the because the Panthers shield is shaped like this, right? So could you have the shield like that, and then inside of the circle have a cup and a cup there? And then if we win again, you just put 3 cups. Studnicka is an AHL guy, supposedly a hardworking dude. That's what I remember from yesterday. Okay, yeah, when Biz was suggesting that Marchand do the ultimate heel turn. Better, yeah. Bobby would take less if we needed, but probably not. And that $23 million includes us still having Rodriguez and Bolquist on the team. So there's really not going to be a reason to ask Bobrovsky to take a pay cut, especially if it's just for like 2 years. He might do it. I know what we're going to do with the money. But there's going to come a point in time in about 3 years where if we don't get rid of guys, we're going to be in a position where we're going to have to overpay our bottom line players to get to the cap. I mean, we don't have to spend to the cap, but my point is this is the last year we're going to be in cap hell. As it goes on the next few years, we're going to be swimming in money. Oh, what did I see here? Hold on a second. Let's scroll down. Holy crap. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, brother. Holy crap. Damn, I got to take a drink now. If only this was alcohol. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, brother. He says, Shark Week starts in 2 weeks, Jaws. Do I watch it? I used to watch it. Well, I used to watch it more often when I had DirecTV. Is it streaming somewhere? I assume you can get it streaming now, right? I didn't watch much of anything last year. That's for sure. But this year, yeah, I might take a peek at it. I like the older ones. I hope they don't ruin it with AI stuff too. I hope they don't ruin it, right? And stuff is getting to the point where you can't tell the difference with things. Thank you again, Great White. Love you, brother. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Holy crap. What do you do for work? And can I get a job? Simon says, what do I think the Panthers are going to do for the rest of the summer? Nothing. I don't think we got anything to do. Because if Tkachuk is going to go on LTIR, you're not moving Rodriguez unless somebody just blows our socks off with an offer. I think we're done. You know, we might sign an AHL guy here or there or something like that. But Zito can go fishing. Zito can absolutely go fishing. Thank you again, Great White. Holy crap. Yeah, Kane says they talk so much about the Cats moving to another season when we had to another location when we had bad seasons. They need to start doing that for about the Finns. Ross's. I mean, there are no two polar opposite franchises in any location that I can think of than the Dolphins and the Panthers, unless you want to talk about the Raiders are run pretty poorly and Vegas is run pretty well. That's about the analogy that I could come up with. What do we got? We got another. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Much appreciated. Thank you. Like I says, I heard some of the guys are already in the gym. Yeah, I mean, probably Bobrovsky, right? Does he take any time off? You know, it's really interesting seeing Bobrovsky in just like regular clothes. Because when you watch him, it's like, you're like, how did he stretch that far? And then when you see him, it's like, oh, because he's like 10 feet tall and like 95 pounds. like he looks like Gumby. I mean, he's just like, he's so long and lanky and everything. It's just, I'm not saying it's easy what he's doing, but you see he's just got these long arms, and it's just, he's got the perfect goalie build for sure. Mel, yeah, you're excited to see Gerasimuk? How bad is that? Jurassic Park? Let's just call him T-Rex. How I get there, I don't know. Holy crap, Great White says, I just sold my house and got more than I was expecting. That's off to you, brother. Fantastic. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. Congratulations. That's always good. That's always good news. Greg says, I was hoping Cooper Black will get called up and be the backup, but I'm liking Tarasov. I don't even know if Cooper Black's going to be the starter in the AHL. I don't know if they're not happy with his progress or what the deal is there, but they are not handling Cooper Black the way that they were handling Spencer Knight. I mean, they put Kokkinen in the postseason, and so I don't know if they're unhappy with Cooper's. I don't know what's going on there. Real says Zito's going to spend the rest of the summer crying to the Stanley Cup because he didn't win Best GM. Silva, yeah, the Bills and the Sabres. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. Hopefully Barkov takes another 6 skateboarding photo with the cup. Oh, which ones were going to the Hall of Fame? Boy, that's a good question. I mean, right now, Barkov and Bobrovsky are in, right? Barkov and Bobrovsky are in. Now, you win another cup with this core, and you're probably looking at Ekblad, maybe Forsling. I mean, do you look at Reinhardt? Do you look at Bennett, Kachuk? I mean, there's going to be a lot of guys that, I mean, if they win 3, if they win 4, like everybody's in. If they win 4, everybody that was here for all 4 is in. You'll have Eetu Luosterainen in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? It's like at some point it would just get ridiculous. Kid, yeah, Bob's a trig. Yeah, man, he just crazy things. Crab says, I'm hearing positive things for St. Martin. Yeah, some of these guys, I don't know where they're going to play. Can we run 5 lines? You can't do that. No, can't do that. Damn it. Yeah, Puck Monkey says Bob loses like 10 pounds a game, right? Right? Don't be Bob. Hey, David, how you doing, bud? Yeah, St. Martin and Sauchin could be Cats in 4 years. That sounds about right. Yeah, the Pasternak rumor didn't make sense at all. Never did. Kenneth, will the Dolphins beat the Bills once this year? Do they play them in the preseason? Maybe. Maybe is the best I can give you there. Yeah, Marchand. That's a good point, Kenneth. I forgot about Marchand. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's too bad Ovi broke the record this year because there's no shot Barkov is on the cover of the video game this year, right? Yeah. That's for sure, Mr. Krabs. Yeah, that's right. Verhaeghe has 3 cups already, too. Simon, yeah, I've got stuff that's coming out, but I don't want to promote it just yet. I want to wait about a week, and then I'll tell you why. But right now, I want to let that stuff do what it's doing without the promotion. So we'll get there. Yeah, it's crazy the number of cups. I mean, Verhaeghe's got 3 in 6 years, and Lundell has 2 in 4 years. Yeah, Kachuk, and Lundell's never had an NHL season without hanging a banner. I know, it's wild. It's wild. And, eventually him and Bennett will swap spots, I'm sure. Good question. Pomo is 328 wins away from being the coach with the most wins, but I think he'll break it. If he wants to, yes. I think if he wants to, yes. Because if even at 50 wins a year, that's what, 7 more seasons? He's not that much older than me. He really isn't. I know that he's only 58, so he's only 5 years older than I am. And let me see. NHL, it's a good question. NHL head coach. So Bowman is first with 1244. Nobody else is even close. Quenneville's got 969. Maurice has 916. Trotz has 914. Lindy Ruff has 900. Of those guys, obviously Maurice is the most likely, unless Quenneville stays around for a long time. But he's an old man already, I believe, right? How old is Quenneville? He was born in 58, so what's that make him? 25 plus 42 is 67. He's already almost 70 years old. So if anybody is going to catch Bowman, it's going to be Maurice. And he'd have to win, you're talking 6 years, right? David Smith says I'm 56, and believe me when I say 7 years is far away. That's true. That's true. But, Quenneville, when we hired Quenneville, he was about as old as Maurice would need to coach to break the record. Kenneth, you think nobody's breaking it? So, the email, the flyingfluffyhockey at gmail.com. Oh, you're talking to Miss Amanda. So you guys don't think Maurice will do it? Just by the number of contracts, don't you think Maurice will stick around at least to finish the contracts of most of these guys? Like, if he gets Kenneth, I'm curious why you think he won't get it. Hard to assume 50 wins 7 straight years. So what is it? What's the difference here? So that's 332. So 333, right? So 333 divided by 7 is like 45 wins a year. Now, let's just look at this. I'm just curious here. This year he had 47. The year before was 52. The year before was only 42. Then we had 58. So, 50 times 7 is hard to think of. But 45 times 7 seems, averaging 45 times 7 seems pretty reasonable. With the contracts that we have now, I think it's reasonable. So what, he coached like 65 or something. Oh, that's a good question. How long is Maurice's contract? He's signed Here should be an extension, right? So he signed a multi-year contract to remain the coach. That's in 24. This isn't telling me. Maybe somebody in the chat already knows. I think he just signed an extension a few years ago. Yeah, I think it's 3 more years. Canes, do you think playoff counts? Let me look. If playoff counts, that could be. Let's see. The survey says no. The playoffs do not count. And that's as far as what I'm seeing here. As far as what I'm seeing, no, it doesn't look like they count. Yeah, it's okay, Canes. Imagine losing Maurice to free agency. Dietrich says, where will Pasta slot in when the lineup once the trade happens? I guess next to Tkachuk, like Brady Tkachuk, right? Because it'll be a 3-way deal. It'll be a 3-way deal. And we'll just get Pasta and Brady Tkachuk after we get Crosby from Pittsburgh. And the bottom line will be Crosby, Tkachuk, and Pasta. That'll be the fourth line. Exactly, David. Regular season wins are garbage. Keep the President's Trophy. We prefer the cups. Yeah. Kenneth says in 6 years the Panthers can be a 30-win team. Oh, I don't know about that. Come on now. Have some faith in Zito. You want to make a friendly bet in 6 years? What's more likely? Here's the question. This is a poll question without me starting a poll. What's more likely? In 6 years, the Panthers are a 30-win team, or in 6 years, I'm still doing this channel? Which one is more likely? Bob, Boss would have to thumb wrestle you. Which one is more likely? Panthers are a 30-win team in 6 years, or Jaws is still doing the shit. Yep. Hey, Trey. So far, Jaws still doing YouTube. Yep. Kenneth says Jaws doing the channel is more likely, but I bet both are true. Jesus. That would be sad. 30 wins is a bit much. Kenneth, I'm curious. The 30 wins, is that because we kept all the old guys and they suck? Or we got rid of all the old guys and we've got a bunch of kids? Florida man says Jaws. Yeah, probably right. David says 6 years, good chance I'll be in the dirt. Still doing the channel. Yep. Yeah, 30 wins is pretty bad, man. That's like a 70-point team. Like, what happened to the goaltending? Did we not? Oh, by the way, I started a completely garbage rumor on the members podcast today. Mike says, I don't know, Jaws. The two choices are mutually exclusive. So I started a terrible rumor on the members' podcast today. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it won't. But wouldn't it be kind of funny? I mean, we're going to have cap space to swim in. We're going to have plenty of money, especially if Bob takes a pay cut to help us out. And what are the odds if Spencer Knight doesn't want to stay in Chicago that we try to offer sheet him away from the Blackhawks and get him back and say, hey, look, kid, Bobrovsky's got 2 more years and then you can stick around and win some cups. I'm just saying. It would be to our benefit because that would keep him away from the Canadiens. We can't have the Canadiens getting Spencer Knight. There's going to be a problem. Man, it says, yeah, the play might drop off a bit, but this team in core has too much pride to not even sniff the playoffs. Might be kind of like the Kings' first-round exit in 6 years. Yeah, I'd have a hard time. I mean, they're not going to be that old, right? They're not going to be that old. Great White says, in 6 years, the Panthers will be 4-time champs by then, right? Yeah, I'll have 4 signs. Oh, by the way, they shipped my sign. Oh, and by the way, a few people during the playoffs, I've got some stuff. A few of you sent me, and Kyle, some items. I've been saving them up for a live stream like we did last year, where I got a bunch of the packages stacked up over here, and then we do a live stream where we open everything up. So if you sent me something and I haven't said anything, that's why. I'm trying to I'm trying to save them all for a live stream. Still no Mackey. What does he have a time frame reel? Does anybody know the answer to that question? Like, how long does Mackey have to sign that offer? Is it like days, weeks, or as long as he signs by the beginning of the season? Fly Guy says, I've been saying all year that Zito has begun building something different. I lost it. It's not just the team. It's more like a phenomenon that great players want to be a part of because they've already made enough and now they want to win. Yeah, it's the perfect set of circumstances. Donna says, what was by far the most stressful regular season game and playoff game from this season? The most stressful playoff game was Game 3 against the Leafs. That's easy. That's easy. We were down 0-2 in the series, and we were down 3-1 in the game, and I was lifting. That was the closest we got to, oh, shit, it's over. Oh, shit, it's over. Oh, the regular season game? Most of the regular season games were kind of like not boring. I'd have to think about that. Mike says, what if Spencer Knight's butthurt about getting pushed away from Florida in the first place? I don't know. I mean, it's possible. I mean, in a sense, in my imagination, how that went down is Spencer said, hey, can you send me somewhere where I'm going to be able to play? And so they did. Also, it could have just simply been that they knew Ekblad was going to get suspended and they needed to bring in Jones. Like, I'm not sure we started off this year with the plan of trading Spencer Knight for Jones. You know what I mean? Like I have a hard time believing that we didn't know Ekblad was fixing to get suspended when we do that. I got you, Kenneth. Well, guys, I think we'll see players like Brady, maybe Tom Wilson after Obrey retires. Can you imagine Tom Wilson on the fourth? How about a fourth line of Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand, and Tom Wilson in 4 or 5 years? How old is Wilson? Is he too old for that? David, yeah. The Game 3 against Toronto was like, Beto says, how many points will we have this year? Will we rank in the division? I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't be shocked if we're a wild card team this year. I wouldn't be shocked. Toronto's going to go out there and try to win the entire cup in the regular season again. Montreal might win the division just because everybody else is going to be like, damn kids with all their energy. Wouldn't shock me to see Florida as a wild card. Maybe they'll purposely try to get the wild card that draws the Metro. You ever thought about that? We're sick of playing Tampa and Toronto. Maybe we'll draw a wild card that plays the Metro. 58 says they 100% knew Ekblad was about to get suspended. Yeah. Yeah, Jameson, same thing, 7th in the conference, right? Proagan, what's new? We have a 4th line of Sidney Crosby, Brad Marchand, and Tom Wilson in 5 years. Oh, Kirsten went to the Wild. Fly Guy says, I've seen an interview with Jones where he said something that made it clear that there was a bit of communication ahead of that Jones trade, but he didn't say anything about knowing Ekblad was getting suspended. Dadnoff with the Devils. Oh, that's interesting. I would assume, David, they probably might change things once they've added like 4 more teams. I think if they add like 4 more teams, then maybe they'll make a change. We haven't considered the possibility that our team doc may have made a mistake and given Eki something that was on the restricted list. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, yeah. And then Ekblad just covered for him. It's totally possible. Craig says, no, this time get President's Trophy and run it through for the 3rd cup, busting the curse. Jeez, you want to talk about breaking the league? Devils got Dadnoff for $1 million, huh? Damn. Yeah, David, that's what I'm thinking. We're so good on the road. It's like, just get in. Like that. It'll all work out. Yeah, Dadnoff. So that's a ding to Dallas, right? He was on their top. That's so wild. What he was playing on their top line, and he only got $1 million. I mean, he's kind of the same player. He's a good player. He just never quite finishes the chances that he's good at getting. Well, I guess because Ekblad said he took something that he thought was approved, right? I mean, I guess we would know if any of the team doctors got fired, right? One wild and crazy guys. You didn't get GM of the year or just pure hate. They just say, 12 people didn't even put him on their ballot. Weather and low. Well, I think he asked what was the most stressful playoff game this year. I think he asked what was the most stressful playoff game this year. Yeah, no, that game, like I said, I had all my giveaways on the couch ready to go because season was over. And when Marchand went down the ice, it's like, yep, this is perfect Panthers. This is exactly how it ends. And then Bobrovsky stopped them. And the next thing you know, here we are debating whether it's going to be 3 cups, 4 cups. You know what I mean? All right, everybody. My voice is absolutely going, so I got to go. Appreciate all of the love and support. Thank you so much for all the super chats. Love you guys. You guys are why this channel is able to be here. I have a short members podcast coming up. As soon as we're done here, I'll upload that. I'm going to try to go fishing this afternoon if it's not raining. Maybe. We'll see. If I'm able to go fishing, then that'll be tomorrow's members podcast. So, all right, everybody. Unless we trade Rodriguez and Boquist for Brady Tkachuk and then put Matthew Tkachuk on LTIR, those numbers might actually work. You didn't hear that from me. I shouldn't be live again unless we do that. If we do that, I'll be live. All right. Otherwise, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Appreciate all the support. We shall see you mañana.